Hey, it's Dark Matter, back at it again. This time we're here today with this Master Sentinel saber. It's mine. It wasn't a commission. I just felt like painting. I tend to go a little crazy on my own paint jobs. This is the Master Sentinel kit. It's gorgeous design, just absolutely gorgeous. It was a collab by all these people. You know, from the artwork and the design. Wade sabers, I think it's Sith Lord sabers. Picked it up from Saber Bay. Gorgeous. Just I love the overlapping sort of designs of the shrouds and everything. You should pick one up. There, I'm sure anyone who's into the hobby has seen, 49 of these all painted and powder coated in different ways. There's so much you can do with them, and I've been just kind of working on other stuff, pondering what should I do with mine. And then I figured, hey, I'll just kind of a mashup between Boba Fett's original trilogy helmet and his ship. So I know the colors aren't exact, but you instantly kind of get the point. Heavily weathered, as is my way. I just like weathering a lot, so all these are rattle can colors. There's no crazy stuff, no powder coating, no airbrush, just masking and rattle can colors. Not to turn this into a whole painting tutorial, but if you ever want to do something like this, for example, these two pieces, if you look at his helmet and his ship, the parts that are chipped off and weathered, it's chipping down to another color. So, like for example, these two, they got a coat of primer and then they got a coat of this lighter green color. And it has to be kind of a complementary green to this darker green. I don't remember the exact paint colors, but I could dig them out if you're really curious. So paint the lighter green, let it dry. Then I'll come in with this stuff, frisket fluid, like masking fluid. You're probably familiar with this in some form, but you just kind of put this on with a toothpick or an old paintbrush or something. Your paintbrush will be destroyed if you use it, so just so you know. Just with a toothpick or some Q-tip stick, whatever it is. And when it dries, it kind of dries like rubber cement, or like E6000 dries. It kind of like will ball up. So you just put your, the masking fluid on there, paint the next color, let it dry, and just kind of go like this, and it just rubs those areas off. For the red areas and this core piece all got painted gunmetal first, and then I decided to leave this core gunmetal and just give the black accents. But then when you paint the red over it and chip it back, same technique, you get sort of a metallic shine through, but it's not just raw aluminum. So you see the gunmetal kind of poking through. With these, the kill stripes, it's just another rattle can color, just careful masking. It was already, painted and chipped, and this piece was pretty much as it is now. And I just masked these out, used the masking fluid, same technique again, and then the whole thing gets a wash, like a black wash, to like dirty it and dull it down a little bit, get in all the cracks, and you can still see all this black smearing and stuff, all from the wash. It's an acrylic wash, it was water-based. Just don't let it pool up in any one area too much. Stop whenever. Then I took the whole thing at that point and put it in a tub, like a plastic kind of storage tub I use to keep saber projects in, and put some rocks from my driveway and shook it. I just shook it with a bunch of rocks, just literally a box of rocks. It's not complicated, and that gives you all the little tiny chips, little tiny impacts that it would just be hard to replicate, you know, by hand, I guess you could say. All the little tiny scratches and stuff are real damage. And, you know, of course the switches are not in at that point, and, you know, I weathered these by hand. I want to be careful, but all the aluminum, you know, sturdy bits, it's fine. Shake them up in the rocks, it's fine. It's not gonna hurt them. This guy is rocking just an eco chassis. Let's see if I can get out of there. Simple chassis. Had room for a nice beefy 21700 there. It's Proffie switches, pretty basic. CC sabers, lit connector. The chassis actually didn't have a spot for the kill switch, so after I wired it and, you know, put some heat shrink down there on the contacts, I just glued it to this to the side of the. It's on there. Very simple, basic chassis. I didn't want. There is a nicer chassis for it, but, you know, this was the economical way. So it's got the full, you know, gesture ignition. Oh, it's loud. The switch plungers are cool because if you've never seen this saber before, there's a bottom piece that screws in, and then you put a little spring, and this plunger piece itself has a little threaded piece, so you put the spring, thread it in there, and it keeps it popped up, obviously, with the springs, but they don't protrude into the body. Can't really see that, but they don't stick out. They're held in the ready position by a little tiny spring, which is nice feature. Kind of thought of everything. And in order to get this rolling, just kind of follow that channel with the far switch there. See, they just line up perfectly. Can do this around the camera, that'll be super cool. Then test just to make sure it's in the right position. The pommel back on. This thing is stupid loud. It's got a nice full-size 28mm speaker in it. And yeah. And at the very end of it, I did give it a matte clear coat, which got it most of the way down to matte. It's a little bit of shine to it, but it needed to be, you know, drug through the dirt kind of weathering, you know, which is I like, you know, I just like to do that. Shiny sabers are kind of boring to me. It tells more of a story to me, I guess. Just what the heck happened to that thing, you know? Where has that been? Was it like buried or something for, you know, 100 years? Who knows?
The one true emperor.
And I can really quickly throw in had one nearby, that would be even better, but I didn't. But now I do. It's a nice deep blade socket.
Are you a Jedi?
I am.
Works great. The only thing I really had to modify was the blade socket was really tight, so I just dremeled it out a little bit. No worries. But that's it. That's the Master Sentinel. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. If you have any questions about, you know, how I went about painting it or what colors I used or any of that kind of stuff, just shoot me an email or comment on the video. Really, there's not much to it. If you're ever wondering, hey, how can I put a cool paint job on, you know, whatever XYZ saber, just plan it out, you know, trial and error. Always keep a little bit of acetone around. I wiped off these, well actually I wiped off all the green and the red parts at least once completely and started over. It's because I wasn't thrilled with the result, and plus the red color I had was just all wrong. This one's much better. But yeah, beautiful saber, you guys. If you are watching and you're one of the ones who designed that, it's lovely. I might pick up another one just to try out some other kind of paint scheme that doesn't involve, you know, rocks from my driveway, just to see what I can come up with. But I hope everyone's enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I love projects like this because I can just do whatever I want. I'm in charge of the design. Well, you know, all the decisions are mine. It's just nice sometimes. But that's about that. Thank you everybody for watching.